coming out of this NFL draft this year?
The Rams win. You got your division winners, so now. All right, 23 wins. What's the difference?
Malibu at the diner part of the casino.
It's amazing, and listen, I love the setup, especially outside.
He campaigned. He wanted to be president.
Wear McKinnon, and then he would wear like a blue MVP quarterback, and then the other quarterback
microphone and say you want to be the owner and runner of the.
All right, we are live on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. Today is Monday, September 12th, 2022. We got John Giordano and Brandon Schwartz on the show today. And our New York Giants are starting off the season 1-0, boys. How does that feel?
Feels wonderful. It is a great feeling. And when was the last time the Giants won the opening week 1 football game? It has been a long time.
For sure, it's been a long time.
It really was a great game, though, yesterday.
Of course. And how many of us thought when Daniel Jones threw that interception when we were down 20-13 with about 8 minutes to go that this game was over? It's the same old Giants. It's the same BS.
Yep, pretty accurate. Considering they couldn't stop Henry most of that game early.
Mm-hmm. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. If you want to join in the conversation, give us your thoughts on your teams. You can call us at 732-806-1911 or tweet us at Real Doug Siravo or follow us on all social media, Siravo Broadcasting. So, Brandon, I want to start with you. This Giants team, yes, they're 1-0. How much does this team have to rely on Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley being at their best to maybe make a playoff push?
Well, it's important that the Giants really work with Daniel Jones to make him a very good quarterback. And he's, again, he's still making his mistakes, as he usually does. But it's very important that Saquon Barkley stays healthy. And the way he looked last night, he looked like the old Saquon Barkley that everyone thought he would be. And he looked really good last night. He had power, speed, the whole works. He looked really good. And, that gives with the Giants here, you have to worry about not just the quarterback, the offensive line, the running back, you have to worry about everything here. But it is very important that Daniel Jones, and Brian Dable have this connection, kind of like how Dable had the connection with Josh Allen. Maybe Dable could have the connection with Daniel Jones here in the New York City metropolitan area, which would be awesome because after last night's win, it definitely gives the Giants, Daniel Jones, Dable, the coaching staff a lot more confidence going into next week's game against the Carolina Panthers for sure.
Yeah, and I think our next 3 games are on home field, so that's huge. If you could win 2 of 3, or you could be like 3-1 or 4-0, that is huge, John.
Yes.
So, John, I want to get to you for a moment. Is this a make it or break it year for Daniel Jones?
I believe so, really. He's been inconsistent. There's been talks they should draft or trade for his replacement. He hasn't
for sure.
What was he, the number 6 pick?
Yeah.
He hasn't really looked like that good of a pick to this point. And by the way, Brandon, I just found it. It's their first time winning the season opener in 6 years.
That is a long time.
First time since that infamous boat trip they've started 1-0.
Hey, maybe we are a playoff team this year. Time will tell.
Yep.
So let's get to the Jets. They're 0-1. They're still the little brother to the New York Giants. I don't care how bad both of us have been. It's still our city. It's still our stadium. So, is it going to be the same old Jets, or is it just, they had Joe Flacco. The defense played phenomenal. So, once Zach Wilson gets back healthy, can this team actually go somewhere and go on a run?
I think they could. Listen, even though the Giants won last night's game, they still got a lot of work to do too. Both teams have a lot of work to do. The Jets have a lot of work to do, 100%. The quarterback role is going to be a question mark. From what Flacco with yesterday's game, the first few plays were dreadful. He had horrible plays, and then he kind of somewhat calmed down a little bit. But you hope that when Zach Wilson comes back, he could somewhat, be a young quarterback who could, bring a spark to this team, because the Jets could use it. They really could. And I think the coaching staff is good. I think they have a good coaching staff. I think Sal is doing an okay job with this team. I think he's just going to get better. But they added some players on this team that really.
You leave it by the door.
Okay.
Thanks.
We got a package.
Yeah, do it. Email.
They added some players on this team that really helped them, like Berrios and other guys. I think this team is improved for sure, and obviously Sauce Gardner from the their first pick in the draft. That really, he looked good yesterday. He did look good. He had a couple of good defensive plays there. If you saw that, those were good plays he had. I think he's going to be a good player, though. I think overall the Jets are going to be improved 100%. It's only one game, and it's still a whole season. So I think they're going to win a few games here and there.
Do you see this being the start for both New York teams?
Listen, I hope so, Doug. Listen. I think I really believe that it will be. I think this is the new teams are gonna be all right. I think Gettleman destroyed the franchise with the Giants. Listen,
for sure.
Yep.
He destroyed the franchise. I think he had to resign and go. I think they needed a new guy, and I think Schoen is a young guy. He's good. He will relate to the players. So, yeah, listen, we take it one game at a time. That's what the NFL is about. Take it one game at a time, because it's not a long season. It's only 17 games. Take it one game at a time and see how each week progresses.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we got James from Monroe on the line. James, what's on your mind today, champ?
Yeah, I'd like to know what you guys thought about Carson Wentz's debut with the Commanders.
Well, Brandon, I said it on my show, the previous show. I think the Commanders can win this division. So if you have Wentz and you have all these great rookies and Dotson and Chase Young, I think if you're a Commanders fan, you have something to look forward to. Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, you so far, I like what I see from the Commanders. You were right, Doug. They have a lot of good expectations coming into this season. Carson Wentz, I always thought he was a good quarterback, even when he was with the Eagles. I liked him. I like him. I think he'll fit in well with that team. Again, I think they will be one of the best teams in the division. I still don't think the Cowboys are going to be that good this year, especially after last night with Dak Prescott out for a long time. I think the Commanders do have a chance in winning this division. And, I think it's going to be a very good NFC East division this year. The Commanders are tough. I think the Eagles are going to be a little tougher this year. And the Giants are going to be competitive too, I think. So it's going to be a very competitive NFC East this year. I hope so. And I think it's going to be good for the fans. I think the fans are going to, because over the last few years, the NFC East hasn't been that great at all.
Yeah.
To have a good NFC East means a lot to football. There's a lot of good teams in the NFC East.
Thanks for your call, James.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, we got some fans calling in now. Again, give us a call at 732-806-1911. Tweet us at Real Doug Siravo. Follow us on all your social media platforms, Siravo Broadcasting. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we have much more to get to. We'll be right back.
Things are
MVP quarterback. And then the other quarterback we have is Derek Carr.
Everything happens to me. Zach Wilson getting hurt happens to me. Not getting let into Bar A happens to me. Going to the hospital after the Jets beat the Titans happened to me.
All right, we are back on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to us by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. Call us at 732-806-1911, or send us a tweet if you have thoughts on all topics of sports. We got Brandon Schwartz, John Giordano here today, virtually. So let's get to. We got more things to talk about, but let's get to college football. Brandon, you're a big Rutgers fan. You go to Rutgers. Tell me about where this Rutgers team can go this upcoming college football season.
Well, listen, we knew they were going to crush Wagner. I mean, Wagner is a, not. I mean, they're not even close to. They're an okay team, but they can never beat a Big Ten team. It's very hard to do that. Rutgers just exploded. I mean, they just exploded against Wagner. And Boston College game was a very competitive game. I thought the Rutgers was going to lose that game because they were down a good amount, and then they luckily turned it around, and then they won by 1 point, which was good. So 2-0, baby, to start the season. Now it's about beating Temple. There's, then you got to beat the Big Ten teams, the tough Ohio States, the Michigans, the Penn States and stuff. If they could beat, listen, the goal for this Rutgers team is they want to get to the college they want to play more bowl games. They want to get to the college football playoff. But they're going to have to beat teams like Michigan, Ohio State, maybe teams like Nebraska, Illinois. They're going to have to beat teams like that to get to be competitive in postseason players and a postseason team. But, again, it's going to be very hard to be in the college football playoff, with obviously the Alabamas, the Clemsons, the other the other teams that are really good in the South. It's very hard to get in the college football playoff, but I like this new college football format in 2026 that they're coming up with. What do you guys think of that?
I always believe that you gotta have more teams competing.
Exactly.
You gotta have at least 12, 10 teams, because it's not fair that you're like one of those top 5 teams. You maybe go undefeated, but you miss out because you're always going to have Alabama there. You're always going to have those top teams there.
Exactly.
So to add more teams, make it interesting, make it fun. You may have an upset and not see Alabama go to the national championship or make the top 4.
Right, and I'm surprised they haven't thought of this earlier. This whole new playoff format. I mean, it makes perfect sense if you think about it. There's so many college football teams in the NCAA. And you got to give other teams a chance to compete for a title. But maybe Rutgers will be in one of those playoffs and maybe they'll actually be a playoff team. When they start this new format, it gives Rutgers more of a chance now. But I'm very excited for this Rutgers team. I think they are much improved. Greg actually literally turned this team around. And Doug, if you watched, did you watch the last couple of Rutgers games?
Not really. I've been too busy. But I've seen highlights.
The defense has just been so improved. I mean, they're so much stronger on the defensive line. I mean, look at the defense is just so much more improved, from the previous.
Yeah, remember when they used to give up like 50, 60 points a game?
Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. They're a really good defensive team now. And if I'm a Big Ten team other than Rutgers, I'd be a little concerned about Rutgers because Rutgers is a good defensive team now.
Yeah, they are. They're phenomenal. They're playing well.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got some good players. They got some good, they got some good players on that team that, bring a lot of tenacity to this program. So that's good. That listen, Rutgers is New Jersey's team. Rutgers is New Jersey's. Rutgers and Monmouth are New Jersey's teams, and we need their football teams to be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Yep.
So while I have you guys on here, I want you guys to talk about the JMP podcast. What it's been like so far, how the ratings are looking, how everything's been looking, and this is your chance since we sponsor you guys. This is your chance to give you guys your opportunity to broadcast to my viewers your show.
Well, once again, thank you, Doug, for sponsoring us on your show. It totally means a lot to us. Now, listen, we've been doing this for a couple of months already, and we're still figuring out how we're going to do it. We're not 100% there yet. We want to include better volume. We've heard comments from viewers that we should improve our our sound system and stuff. And once John and I get the logistics of how we're going to do the show and stuff, I think we're going to improve. We're going to get some microphones. We're going to get a mixer. We're going to get some more commercials. We're gonna get better equipment, and it's because we've been doing the show outside for most of the summer. We have to work on a studio, for an indoor studio, because once it gets colder out and stuff, we want to do in-person shows. We're gonna probably have to do an indoor studio, and right now we don't know where we're gonna do the shows, so we're gonna have to figure out what studio we're gonna do it in. So we're gonna figure that out as the fall goes on. So we got some more work to do, but we're glad that we're part of this podcast, and we're glad that you, Doug, have helped us in sponsoring and all that stuff. But the show's been good so far, I have to say. I've been enjoying it with John, and the show that you were on with us. It's been a good time. I really liked it.
It really has.
John, can I hear your thoughts?
It seems like it's been an interesting show we've done, especially the last Friday for our first football podcast. We probably worked on the volume, like Brandon has said.
And we're gonna work on the camera too. What I use is I use a webcam, and my webcam. It's pretty weird that I'm saying this, but my webcam. If you looked on my last show, on our last show on the Football Friday podcast, the camera was tilted. The camera was kind of tilted. It was like a weird angle,
You can't even see the top of my head, Brandon.
Right. I think it was my mistake because I set the stand that whole show. We probably should have just sat and we should. But that's my point. Is we still have a lot more work that we need to figure out. We're newbies. You're obviously a lot more experienced than us, Doug. You've been doing this a lot longer than us. So we're still figuring out the logistics of all the podcasting, and we're trying to learn from other podcasts. We're trying to learn, how other podcasts, especially you, run your podcast, and we're trying to learn from others, so that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, Brandon. You know what they say, right?
What do they say?
That good things happen down the shore.
Good things happen down the shore. It's say it. Shore season's over, man. It was a good summer.
Yeah,
at the
it
shore.
flew by.
It
Now,
really
what's
did.
funny? Last time you went, you got another flat tire.
Yeah, and it was with your cousin.
You actually did get another one, Brandon?
Well, it's funny. You never heard about the flat tire?
You heard I heard the first time.
Well, that was one time. So on my birthday.
I heard this one.
Oh, you heard? Yeah, that was the only flat tire I got was on my birthday.
Yeah. I think you mentioned it when Doug came on our show.
Yes, that was the one where my tire blew. It almost blew up.
Yeah, it was smoking.
Maybe you're just bad luck, Doug.
No, it was
Me?
not. Doug wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
It was
Maybe
his
it's just your
cousin.
family,
I
then.
wasn't there. But whenever I'm with Brandon, if we go to AC, there's an issue. His door wasn't shut.
Yeah.
If we go to where else have we gone?
I was at your house.
You came to my house to do a podcast, and the car
battery
didn't
died.
start. Then you go out with Dean. So yeah, life of Brandon.
Yeah, bad luck.
Looks like we got talk about the smelly car. What's the smelly car?
Oh, the smelly car. I don't know. I don't know if he's referring to the Myrtle Beach car. When we were in Myrtle Beach, we rented a car, and Andrew wanted to. So we rented a car for a few days, and Andrew's like, "This car really stinks. Can we bring it to a car wash to have it cleaned?" And he was really upset about the smelly car. He really wanted to bring it to a car wash, and we didn't bring it to a car wash. He just sprayed it with cologne and stuff. Yeah.
Andrew did that?
Yeah.
Great job, Andrew.
I wish Andrew would hop on the show right now.
Well, I think he's at work.
Oh, he works on Monday. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to us by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. You can follow us on all your podcast applications, YouTube and Facebook Live. Go on YouTube and type in Doug Siravo, and it will come up. Have any thoughts? Call us at 732-806-1911. Tweet us or follow us on your social media platforms. We're going to take a quick commercial. Actually, looks like we do have a call. Let's see what they got on their mind today. Hello, you're
Nick's Pizza here. I just want to know why I should drop off these pizzas. I'm not sure. I can't quite find your house. Was it a road or was it a street? What exactly was it?
It's a prank.
You've been getting those a lot on your shows.
Yeah, I know that.
3 Cokes.
I wonder who's doing it.
So I'm just here to drop them off. Whatever party or occasion. No, excuse me. Whatever party occasion you're having. So I just need your house address or wherever you live so I can deliver these and get back to work.
Adios. I wonder who's doing that. I think we know who.
Tony?
Yeah.
He actually called me yesterday.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then once we get back, we have Major League Baseball to talk about. John and I, we went to the Ray Yankee game on Friday. It was a blast. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back. The Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. We'll be right back. MVP quarterback. And then the other quarterback we have is Derek Carr.
Everything happens to me. Zach Wilson getting hurt happens to me. Not getting let into Bar A happens to me. Going to the hospital after the Jets beat the Titans happened to me.
Especially going back to Columbus down.
Why? They were horrible this year.
Malibu and the diner.
These leaders of these countries.
All right, we are back on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. You have any thoughts, call us at 732-806-1911. And if you want to discuss the New York Yankees, the Tampa Bay Rays, the New York Mets, the Atlanta Braves, all these teams in the playoff push, give us a call. So, John, let's talk about Friday night. We survived.
Well, you survived, Doug.
And the best part about that was I never said anything to the Yankee fans. Everything was so great. You know, I was standing up every time they scored. I was cheering. I was like, yeah, baby. Yeah, let's go, Randy. Let's go, Wanda. And no one really said anything. No one got mad about that. But the minute the Yankees lose, all the fans, they get triggered because they saw a Rays logo. I mean, we got outscored Saturday and Sunday by 20 runs, but...
That was hilarious, Doug, I'll admit.
Yeah. It looks like we have a caller. You're on the Doug Siravo Show. What's up?
Hi, Doug. How are you?
How are you?
I'm a very, very big Yankee fan. And I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, I had a question about the Yankees.
Yeah, what's your question?
Oh, I didn't hear you. Do you think Judge is going to break the home run record?
Which one? The Yankee one? I think it's 61, and then you have the Bonds record, 73.
Yeah, the 60. Well, I don't think he's going to break the 73 one.
I think he could get to 62. It all depends how the pitchers pitch to him. You know, they could walk him like they did with Bonds, so it's all a matter of time. I'll let the Yankee fan Brandon give your thoughts on that.
Yeah,
Brandon's on the show?
Yeah, Brandon's on the show.
Hey, what's up, Brandon?
Hey, how are you? Have we ever met before?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think Judge is going to break the record. But I agree with you, Doug. You know, if you're a pitcher, you'd be scared to pitch to Judge. You know, you would want to just
this guy's good.
You pitch around him. You know, like walk him or pitch him low in the zone or out. You know, try to clip the corner where he gets fooled. You know. But yeah, if you're a pitcher, you'd be scared to pitch to Judge. I agree. But I think he's going to break the record. I think he's going to hit about 63 home runs this year.
Interesting.
All right, so I think he has it. There's no reason why he can't. He's been on a hot run. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I think he could do it. I don't know how many games they have left, though. You know,
it's like under 25, right?
Yeah, at least 25 games.
Something like
there's
that.
25 games left, about.
Yeah, just about.
Wow. Yeah. Well, 25 games, and he's at what 55 right now.
Yeah, 55. So, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, I think he's gonna start hitting big. Hey, that kid hit his first home run the other night.
Oswaldo Cabrera?
Yeah, Cabrera. Oswaldo.
Yeah, boy, he was so excited. He was smiling. He called his whole family. Oh boy. Yeah, it's good. It was very good.
Yeah, he was happy. Big league home run.
And that was some shot too. That was a monster.
I can't hear Brandon. Can Brandon hear me?
Brandon, do you hear Adam?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he hears you.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm so happy I got on this show. This show is amazing. It's a great show.
All right, thank you, Adam. We appreciate it. Call in again anytime you want.
I'm very excited. Have a great day, guys.
Before you
He hung up.
That was a good call.
I wasn't expecting him to call.
I felt like he was like sleeping, like he was like, I want to talk about the Yankees.
That was great.
That was a good call. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was great. We got new callers calling in. Cool.
I just have a question to you, Doug, so you have these calls coming in. Is your phone connected? Is the phone connected to your mixer that you have?
Yeah, see?
So it's connected to the mixer. That's perfect. That's a great.
Yeah. Like if
you
people
figure that out, Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon has to find a way to do that. He may mess it up, like we've seen. He had the whole audio playing in the background one show. So like people see me on my phone half the show. I'm just like looking through tweets, see if people tweet us, like people call in, so I could like be like, I want to call in. I'll give them the number, this and that. Yeah, I like the mixture and how it does it.
That's good.
But yeah,
That's good.
That was a good call. I'm happy we had Adam call in today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to get to Albert Pujols. Who would have thought at the start of the season, sitting at 680, that he would be 3 home runs away from 700? I think he's a true home run king. What do you guys feel about that?
I think it's crazy that he's hit this record pace since the All-Star break. What do you have, like 6 when he participated in the home run derby?
Yeah.
And now he's hit, 12 since mid-July?
Uh-huh. And see, here's the thing. If he didn't fall apart, I think, what I mean by that is if he didn't, fall apart in L.A., the Angels, I think he could have broken Bonds' record.
I agree. I think he could definitely make a run at Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
I do definitely think he's going to get to 700 before the end of the season.
Oh,
though.
yeah, I think he's got it. I think he's got 700. Now, the question is, does he come back, or you think this is it for him, Yachty, and Wainwright?
I think this is it. He's already said, no matter what, this is it for Pujols.
Yeah. I think so, too.
Yeah.
So, since we are talking baseball now, can you see a team like the Cardinals coming out of the National League and playing for a world championship? Or do you think this is just a regular season run? They're going to fall into trouble when they play teams like the Dodgers or the Mets?
I think there's only going to be a regular season run. If you look at it right now, they're division
They're the
winner.
third. Yeah, they're the third seed, so they're going to have to play right now. San Diego.
Yep, and you have to, if you win that series where you're a 4-star, you have to go play the Mets
Yeah,
or the Braves, depending on who wins that division.
because I think right now the Rays the Rays are penciled in right now to play Seattle. So, and I think that's going to help us. I'd rather play Seattle, but I'd rather win the division and have the bye.
Yeah.
Just way they rest up and they're good to go.
If they play Seattle, that's the whole series is in Tampa.
Yes, it is.
That's
For now.
definitely help them.
But the one thing I like, there's not really big teams in the American League that we have to look out for. Seattle, they're beatable. Toronto, they're beatable. And it looks like it's
terrible.
Cleveland's terrible. The Central sucks. You just got the Yankees are beatable, and you basically just got the Astros. So I think the Rays have what it takes to go to the World Series again. I really believe it's going to be the Rays Dodgers World Series. I said that months ago when we were all on the show. I said it months ago, and Brandon is going to owe me the Atlantic City Hotel or the dinner when we go to Atlantic City because I said the Yankees have to win the World Series.
Yes.
It wasn't make the World Series. They have to win it. And I don't even think they're going to get past the divisional round.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, by the way, the second half of the season's going, it looks like they're not even going to win a wild card game. That's how bad they were looking.
I think they get bounced in the divisional round, like you said, Doug, right now.
Yeah, they're not going far.
No. I mean, listen, you never know.
Tampa, Houston. It's going to be Tampa and Houston in the Final Four. And it's going to be Dodgers and maybe the Mets or the Cardinals. Rays Dodgers World Series. I've been saying it all year long.
I think you said that all night Friday.
A rematch of the 2020 World Series.
And this one's going to actually be better because we get to see how the Rays play in LA and how they play on home field because we've been one of the best teams throughout baseball on our home turf. I think we're like 47-20 or something like that.
Yeah, you guys are deadly at home.
Yeah, so those 3 games I'm not worried about.
Even though you apparently have no fans there.
No, we do, but we're in St. Petersburg. You really want to travel from Tampa to St. Petersburg to watch a baseball game?
We did that, Brandon, right? What was it, like a half-hour ride?
That's different.
When the
You're
Yankees
visiting, but you can't do it every single game.
When the Yankees are there, it's all Yankee fans. It's mostly Yankee fans. When the Yankees are there, it's mostly Yankee fans. And then when the Rays are playing a team like the Orioles or something, it's just an average crowd,
The area's not great though.
St.
Down
Pete,
there.
it's all right.
You kind of just stuck it like in the middle of a neighborhood.
Well, isn't there talks about a new stadium being built for the Rays?
Yeah, they've been talking about it, so we'll see how that
They
goes.
really do need a new stadium because you know how many times there's a ball hits the top of the catwalk at that place, and then a play gets messed up. Like
imagine that ruins it no hitter.
It's unbelievable. Like what kind of stadium is that?
Imagine
the stadium
losing no hitter.
The stadium is actually nice. It's actually a nice stadium around it. But it's outside. It looks old. It looks like an old stadium outside, but inside it's actually somewhat okay if you walk around it and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I know you want to get there, Doug, very soon.
Yeah, I think we should make a trip out there next year.
Yeah,
Let's
definitely.
do it. Doesn't have to be the Yankees, though, Brandon.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. Are the Mets going to be there?
No, the Rays are coming to Citi Field.
Oh, they're coming to Citi Field. So what's the deal? It's one team. They're playing each team is playing every team once next year.
Yeah, at least one
Yeah,
series.
whether
against
it's on
every
the
team.
road or whether it's road or home.
And how many? And then how does the divisional teams work? How many times do they play like the divisional?
I think it's the same amount.
I think I saw it was 13 each.
13 each.
So you'll have 2 series there and then 2 at your park.
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's gonna be much better. This way, you can see a little bit of everything. You know.
Yeah, I get to see the Rays. I don't have to go to Yankee Stadium next year. I get to see the Rays play the Mets, and I won't have to be harassed. I don't have to be called Four Eyes like one dumbass Yankee fan told me.
And you'll have different people saying "F you, Doug."
Yeah, that I loved. See, here's the thing. I could take trash talk. I could take that, but don't do the personal attacks. I didn't attack him. I didn't attack anyone. I just said 15-game lead. How's it feel? 4.5.
And they just randomly did that.
Yeah. All right, if you're just joining us, this is the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we get back, we will be doing Lepore betting, and we are going to give our picks for next week's NFL football. We'll be right back. Doug Siravo Show, brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. We will be right back.
Especially going back to Columbus down.
Why? They were horrible this year.
Malibu at the diner.
These leaders of these countries.
All right, 23 wins. What's the difference?
Malibu at the diner part of the casino.
It's amazing, and listen, I love the setup, especially outside.
He campaigned. He wanted to be president.
Like wear like McKinnon, and then he would wear like a blue
MVP quarterback, and then the other quarterback.
Microphone and say you want to be the owner and runner of the country.
Betting. It was named after you because you are probably known for losing a lot of bets, especially when it comes to the horse racing.
My lightning 5 picks. These are the ones I like. I mean, I love them. In my picks, you'll hear them later on.
Yeah.
That is my best bet.
You'll hear it in Stutz Betting.
Yes, that is my best bet.
All right, we are back on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. Now it's time for my segment in memory of Michael Lepore. It is known as Lepore Betting. So rather than doing odds of like future bets, what we are going to do is we're going to look at next week's games, and each of us will do a pick. We'll do, all right, I got the Chargers. You got whoever. So we are going to go to playoffpredictors.com, and just give me a minute to pull it up. I'm going to ask each and every single one of you a game, and I want to hear who you have winning. So we have it up here on the screen. So I am going to start with Brandon. We are going to do the Chargers and the Chiefs. Who do you have winning this game?
Well, since the Chiefs are just dominant at home, gotta go with the Chiefs. And the way they looked last game, they just look like the same old Chiefs. So I'm going with the Chiefs to win that one.
All right, John, we're going to go with the Patriots and the Steelers. Who do you have winning that game?
I'm going to go with the Patriots, considering that Mitchell Trubisky just barely helped them win yesterday over the Bengals if it wasn't for a couple missed field goals. And I like Mac Jones a lot better than Trubisky.
I think Trubisky's going to be a comeback player of the year. I think so. Brandon, let's hear it. The Colts or the Jaguars?
Well, since the Colts tied it up with the Texans yesterday. I think the Colts are going to come out strong next game and win against the Jaguars.
I like that. I think that's a good pick. So we do have a sponsor now for Lepore Betting. I'm just typing it up. And I think you guys are getting pretty happy about it. So Lepore Betting is sponsored by the JMB podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. It's a pleasure.
So the JMB podcast sponsors Lepore Betting. Brandon, you said the Colts, correct?
Colts, yeah. Matty Ryan's coming back next week and winning the game.
All right, let's go to the Jets and the Browns. Which team gets their first win of the season, John?
I'm going to go with the Browns. Good showing yesterday. I still don't trust Joe Flacco and that Jets defense. Or their offense in general. They're going to come out and want to prove them all the people wrong that they can't win without Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting game. I'm going to go. It's going to be a very close one, like we saw yesterday. But I do think the Browns pull it out.
All right, let's get to the Miami Dolphins versus the Baltimore Ravens. Shout out to Nicole and Dave. Go Sports. So, Brandon, who do you have for the Dolphins and the Ravens?
I'm going with the Dolphins because I think...
Shout out to Nicole and Dave. Go Sports. All right, Brandon, let's hear your thoughts.
I'm going Dolphins on this one. I like the team this year so far. I think Tua is going to have a very good second week. I think Tyreek Hill is going to be really good again. Going with the Dolphins.
So you got the Dolphins?
Got the Dolphins.
All right, shout out to Nicole and Dave. Go Sports. Texans and the Broncos, John.
Gotta go with the Broncos there. Even though Texans had the tie yesterday, I like the fact that they have Russell Wilson now in Denver with all those weapons.
Buffalo and Tennessee. This could be a huge game for Tennessee. They don't want to fall 0-2.
Especially after they lost.
Yeah. So, Brandon, who do you got for this one?
I think the way week one went for Buffalo, I think a lot of people are going to pick Buffalo to win this game. They just have the better team. They look even better than last year, so I'm going with Buffalo.
All right, now we got two AFC NFC matchups. Both of these matchups, one of these teams will be 0-2. So, John, Cardinals and the Raiders, who do you have winning this game?
I have a better feeling in the Cardinals after they got embarrassed by the Chiefs. I have a feeling Kyler Murray's going to come out and want to have a really big game.
Brandon, we got the Bengals and the Cowboys. I know we all want the Cowboys to be 0-2, but I have a feeling that they do bounce back. Who do you have winning this game? Bengals or Dallas?
I'm going to go with the Bengals because Dak's out. So, yeah, I'm going with the Bengals, and I think they're ready to win.
All right, so I think both of these teams are going to compete for the NFC South title. I think Jameis Winston is proving why he went number one. Things just didn't work out in Tampa Bay. So, John, who do you have winning this game? Do you have the Buccaneers or do you have Jameis Winston leading the Saints to a victory?
With recent history, I think I'm going to go with the Saints. They just had a lot of trouble, the Bucs have, playing the Saints both in Tampa or New Orleans. Or in last year's case, Jacksonville. Oh, no. My bad. But they lost, the last 4 regular season games?
Just about.
And they beat them in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel Saints on that one.
All right, Brandon, let's see. We got the Panthers playing the Giants. This game is important for both teams. Giants could go 2-0 for the first time since who knows when. Or you got the Panthers who may go 0-2 with Baker Mayfield. So who do you have winning this game? Our New York Football Giants or Baker's Carolina Panthers?
Going Giants, baby, 2-0.
And based on the standings, we'd be in second place.
That would be great. That would be great.
Washington versus Detroit, John.
I'm gonna go with Washington. As I talked with Brandon on Friday, their lines are a mess, even with how they almost beat the Eagles yesterday.
They played all right, though. I mean, they scored 35 points. I mean, that
Yeah, they competed.
They did compete.
They're
They
still
did
good
compete.
at-
They did compete. We got the Falcons playing the Rams. Rams do not want to go 0-2. Brandon.
I think after the Rams got upsetted by the Bills in that first game, I think the Rams are going to come back and beat the Falcons in that game.
All right. This is a make or break game for the Niners. They may have to go back to Jimmy G. So you got the Seahawks versus the Niners. John, who do you have winning this game?
I'm gonna go with 49ers because Seattle, we haven't seen how they've done yet, but you have Geno Smith starting. You have Lance. It just seems like the Seahawks are going to be a bit of a mess. No longer that Legion of Boom team that you saw win the Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
All right, Brandon, you got Aaron Rodgers versus Justin Fields. Who comes out on top?
As much as I like Justin Fields when he was with Ohio State and with the Bears, I'm still going to have to go with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I think the Packers still have that division. Even though they lost their first game, I'm going to have to still go with the Green Bay Packers in week 2.
All right, now I got Monday Night Football. You got the Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles can win this game, but I don't see it. I think Justin Jefferson is going to be the best wide receiver within the next 2 to 3 years. So I have the Vikings winning this game. And that means nothing yet because the Commanders will still be in first place. But it means we're tied for first place. The New York Football Giants are tied for first place after week 2 in the National Football League. Who would have thought that, Who would have thought that, guys?
Probably no one, considering that they had to go into Tennessee week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Considering they were, the number 1 seed in the AFC last year before the Bengals upset them?
Again, if you're just joining us, this is the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. You just watched Lepore Betting, which was brought to you by the JMP Podcast. So before we conclude, we are going to go to a quick commercial break. Still taking calls. You want to call us at 732-806-1911. Give us your thoughts on whatever comes to your mind, but we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll have our final thoughts predictions with 3 weeks remaining in Major League Baseball. We'll be right back. MVP quarterback. And then the other quarterback we have is Derek Carr.
Everything happens to me. Zach Wilson getting hurt happens to me. Not getting let into Bar A happens to me. Going to the hospital after the Jets beat the Titans happened to me.
Especially going back to Columbus down.
Why? They were horrible this year.
Malibu and the diner.
These leaders of these countries.
All right, we are back on the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. You can follow us on all your podcast applications, YouTube and Facebook Live, Siravo Broadcasting. So, Brandon, Major League Baseball has less than 3 weeks away until postseason baseball. The best time of year in my mind, October baseball. Nothing gets better than October baseball. So do you have any wild predictions, any wild thoughts this October? Is there going to be a World Series matchup that we did not expect to happen?
Well, I still think it's going to be a typical. I mean, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be there's going to be 4 teams. The final 4 teams are going to be I think the Mets, the Yankees, the no, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is possible. I mean, it could be possible. I'm going to scratch the Astros out of the Final Four. I'm going Rays, Yankees, Mets, Dodgers in the Final Four of the playoffs. And then
I like that.
And then the Yankees, Rays compete for the American League for the championship, and and then the winner will play the Mets in the World Series. I still think the Mets are going to the World Series. I think the Mets are going to the World Series because I just feel like they have the pitching is so good. They have a great offense. They have a great closer in Edwin Diaz, who's been lights out all season. I just feel like the Mets I think they had what it takes to get to the World Series. And listen, it's not going to be easy against the Dodgers, but I still think they'll beat the Braves. I think they'll beat the Dodgers, and I think they'll be in the World Series. And listen, I think it's gonna be Rays, Yankees versus the Mets in the World Series.
I like that. Do you go to the game?
Here's how it works. If you guys go, I go. That's how it works.
Remember this, Doug.
Remember what?
That he's gonna go if we decide to go. If it's Mets against whoever in the World Series.
Right. Well, if it's Mets Yankees, I ain't going. I'm going Mets Rays.
I'll tell you what. No matter who it is, I'll go as long as you guys go.
All right, but I ain't going to see the Yankees.
Oh yeah, you think you're not.
Why would I want to see a team that beat me in the World Series? Of course, if I'm there, I'll be rooting against them. I'll be rooting for the Mets. But I want to see the Rays win the World Series. Come on, man. Absolutely. I want the Rays. I just want one ring.
And they had a chance in 2020, and listen, it just fell short.
Yeah, it fell apart.
Yep.
But
one mistake.
But I want to know, you probably told us before, how did you become a Rays fan? Out of all the teams in Major League Baseball, what made you become a Tampa Bay Rays fan?
Well, he's going to be back next year, and that's Evan Longoria.
And and you just liked how Evan Longoria was as a player?
I don't know. When he came up, I just started watching them, and I just was like, I love this guy. I guess
that's good.
I guess it was his competitiveness. How one player changed the organization, and they go to the postseason, and they go to the World Series. I just love the guy.
Right, he really did turn that team around. I mean, Carl Crawford, they were really good on that team. That was a good with Joe Madden as the coach. Those were the years where the Yankees just never won there in Tampa. Like they always lost when they went to Tampa. It was always a tough time beating them there. That was a good team with Carl Crawford. Who was on that team?
It's a shame they didn't win one. Jason Bartlett, you had David Price, James Shields, Matt Garza, B.J. Upton. They had all these great players, but they had to trade them away.
B.J. Upton, I remember. Yeah,
B.J. Upton.
Gotta get the name right, Doug. It's Melvin Upton.
It's funny.
It's B.J. Upton.
It feels like that was so long ago. That's how fast time flies.
Because it is so long ago.
That team was so long ago. My cousin was a year old.
12 years?
What was it, 2010?
2008, 2009, 10, 11, 12?
My cousin was a baby when that whole team went on their run.
Yeah.
Like, those are good old days.
Yeah, but you know what? The team is good now and maybe even better,
Yeah, we are. Look at this. Postseasons, 4 straight years. Come on.
And now all the kids in height that were born that year.
We're gonna get ourselves a ring this year.
I like Choi. I former Yankee. Choi's a good player.
Because think about it. Look at the last few years we've had. 2019, we made the playoffs. We won the wild card game. Then we lose to the Astros. 2020, we go to the World Series. We lose. 2021, we win the division. We win 100 games, and we lose in the first round. So what's next in 2022?
Hopefully, a Rays Yankees championship series against the Mets or the Dodgers. That would be great.
I'm more talking a World Series championship.
Yeah.
It will be a fun. It's going to be a fun October, for sure.
So, do we see anything happening? Like, is there going to be a team that collapse, or are we going to see a team like in NL Central, a team like the White Sox or the Twins winning that division with a record under 500? Could you see a team winning that division being 79 and 83 or 81-81?
I really don't see that because it takes an epic collapse to Guardians have 73 wins right now.
That's not a lot, though, to win a division. Orioles would be in first place. Tampa Bay would be in first place. Atlanta would be in first place.
Seattle
would be in first place. Toronto would be in first place.
Yep.
But we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
No, it'll be a fun postseason for sure. And then you got NBA starting, NHL. It's a fun time of the year for all of us.
Hell
Doug.
yeah.
I have a wild prediction for you, Doug.
What?
The Phillies will fall out of the wild card race, and the Brewers will take over one of those last two spots.
So are you saying that's your Laporte bet?
I think so.
All right, we got a Laporte bet.
I don't
Brewers are making the playoffs.
They're 2.5 out behind the Padres. I don't like the Phillies bullpen right now.
Brandon, what's so funny?
I'm just thinking Yankees, Phillies World Series again. Imagine.
That
would be cool.
We're talking that they're going to be
the Phillies
knocked
come out
out
on top this time?
Now imagine, that would be cool.
It would be.
And then they strike out Harper to end it.
No, Harper hits a walk-off home run in Philly. Or he does it in the ninth inning of Game 7 in Yankee Stadium. that right field porch. And all the fans are completely silent. And then you have a Philly fan walk out. You have New York playing. And they do F you, F you.
I think we have to go to that then, Doug.
I love a quiet Yankee Stadium. I don't know about you, but I love when Yankee Stadium's quiet and the fans are all triggered and upset. Don't you love that, Brandon?
There's nothing worse than seeing that.
No, there's nothing better than seeing that.
That was great the other night, Doug. Even though I was wearing Yankee stuff, I'll admit, as a Met fan, great seeing Yankee fans annoyed.
Yeah, I love it. Nothing like it.
Yep.
Again, this has been the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. We appreciate you coming on, giving us your calls, your thoughts. So, Brandon, give me your final thoughts before we conclude today's episode.
Let's go Knicks, baby. Almost time for the Knicks basketball season.
John, you got any final thoughts?
All I know is Brandon's a big Giants fan, and he's delusional.
Why is he delusional?
Just his thoughts on...
No, you know what I am? I'm a diehard Monkey Bar fan. That's what I am.
Yes, he is. Diehard Monkey Bar fan. Well, we'll be there tomorrow night celebrating my birthday.
Yes.
Well, happy early birthday, Doug.
Thank you, John. Again, this has been the Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. Guys, it's always a pleasure. We'll see you guys next time. Take care, and may God bless you all. The Doug Siravo Show, which is brought to you by Stutz Betting. Bet like Michael Lepore. See you guys next time.
Especially going back to Columbus down.
Why? They were horrible this year.
Malibu and the diner. These leaders of these countries.
MVP quarterback. And then the other quarterback we have is Derek Carr.
Everything happens to me. Zach Wilson getting hurt happens to me. Not getting let into Bar A happens to me. Going to the hospital after the Jets beat the Titans happened to me.